I was taught by the gangsters where I come from, you didn't kill for money. If you had to do some movie, you did it out of love. You didn't move off emotions. You know, the old school shit that meant stuff, and anybody that's been around for a little bit of time, I'm a little older, you've been around and you kept your name clean, that meant a lot. I know I play chess, I'm a chess player, so I noticed when I came home, you know, the chessboard was turned around. Niggas was playing from left to right instead of right to left. If you know what that means, the red square is supposed to always be in the right, but, you know, if you give a weirdo something he don't know what he dealing with, you know, Ouija board or any kind of shit like that, they gonna do whatever they do with it. And so I seen the dynamics of the game was changed. And the moral of this story that I'm about to tell you is, like, niggas really gotta learn how to stay in their lane. You know what I mean? Because if you do some good shit, you a good pimp, you a good rapper, whatever, and that made you famous, stay in your lane. This street shit, you gotta leave that street shit and that gangster shit to the niggas who perfected that shit. It's not too many niggas who have been around long as myself, kept their name clean, as well as not up under no jail cell. We know all the gangsters in jail, everybody sending money to their love, but still on the street, they, and ain't got a duck nowhere. You know what I mean? Nigga, I can tell you all the play. I'm at Happy Dog every day. I'm on 66, nigga. I'm at the Sandwich Code 2322 every day, man. I just lived at fucking the Marriott downtown for a whole fucking year, my nigga. So I say all that to say that's a privilege to be around this long. Like, you know, like what's a few. Hold on. Get the smoke in my system. But basically, I'm saying I done lived long enough to see a lot of niggas get all the shit a nigga ever wanted, but they burnt out within 6 months, man. Y'all know them. Y'all know where niggas at. And they get the little money, and then shit go to their head. And then a light come on, like, oh, I want to be a gangster too. And you burn out in 6 months, you know. The niggas with all the flyest shit in the world, the most expensive shit in the world, but they burn out. They're not here right now. They're not here because of some sucker shit or because of the people they had around them hyping them on bullshit. So, I'm going to get into my spiel. I seen some shit last night. I don't really be on people's lives. I don't be looking at shit or nothing. But I seen some shit last night with Phil and Cousin Dre. And it was, and you know, I thought maybe Phil was just going to come clean and stand on, you know, but it didn't really happen like that. It was like a bunch of subliminal weird shit. And yeah, man. So now we're here. And, you know, out of the love and respect I had for certain individuals, I was like, you know, nigga, it really ain't none of my business. I'm gonna let it play out. But with the situation he pulled last night, you attacking somebody that's in a federal penitentiary doing 23 years for the crimes that they committed, and you trying to say a nigga ain't stand up. This is one of the most stand-upest niggas I done ran across, especially from his age era, out of that era. And I'm talking about Tay-Tay. Taliban Tay is what we call him around, you know, our way. You know, when I met him, met the young nigga by way of fighting for my life in the cage. He was fighting at the same time. But that's nor here nor there. So, if you watch the live or whatever last night, nigga made some reference of paperwork being passed around and people getting the paperwork and saying the paperwork is fake to fuck with niggas or to continue fucking a friendship or whatever. Let me tell you this, my nigga, I done spent half my motherfucking life behind bars. I got a brother doing life. I got another brother that's rest in peace. He did about 14 and came home off his. I just told you I spent half my life in jail. So, nigga, you only been to the blues. You don't even know what paperwork look like, my nigga. Real paperwork, my nigga. You ain't been up under the gun. You ain't been through nothing, man. So, like I say, niggas gotta learn how to stay in their own lane. You know what I mean? And niggas around you should have been put the cork on your bitch ass. They should have been made you shut up and stop talking and doing this sucker shit you be doing, but they didn't. So now we are here. We are where we at right now. By way of another thing, I just spent like the last year and a half in Vegas. I ain't never bumped into you. You ain't reopened that store. And I ain't like I was looking for you or nothing, but I wasn't fucking with you. You know what I mean? Salute to the niggas over there that I do fuck with, but you, nah. I fuck with street niggas. Like, you know, I ain't never really hung with no pimps. I ain't infatuated by nobody, jewelry or chains. You know, I come from $1 million spot, man. We had our own everything, my nigga. So, hold on. So, like I'm saying, to get into this spiel, I'm just letting this motherfucker cook, right? So, one of the worst things you can do to a gangster is slander his name or attack a person in a situation where they can't defend themselves. You know what I mean? So, I come home, everything chill, whatever. And one day I get a hit from the mob. They like, some shit landed. You need to see it. So I come over there to see it. And by the way, Phil didn't send this shit. Phil ain't had nothing to do with this shit. I don't believe, because he's, you know, he's whoever he is, but he's not a mob member. He's not, you know what I mean? Like, when the phone calls come down, you're not on the conference call, my nigga. So, nigga, I believe that one of the little homies brought it. He was coming out of Rita. So he bring it, and he like, they folks. He was just in there with, I ain't gonna say his name because he incarcerated right now. So if he was out, I had no problem with saying his name and addressing my feelings about him, but he's not out. So we're gonna leave him anonymous in this situation. The streets know what it is. So I get it. I guess it's supposed to be paperwork. Niggas is trying to tell me that Tay-Tay is ratting. Okay, I'm like, okay, let's see it. I'm very peeved. And I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. Can't even get in all that. So I get the paperwork, and it wasn't paperwork. It actually was a police report that belonged to another individual. I know how to identify paperwork. Anybody that know me and listening to this, you know, I know how to identify paperwork. I've been told on like 6 different times, man. I beat a murder trial, been to trial like 2 times. So I know what I know by way of experience, by ain't nobody else telling me. Half my big homies been to the feds or the pen, or still in the feds or the pen. And so I'm looking at the shit and it's bullshit. So I'm like, damn, I wonder what's the angle with a nigga sending this to us. Because it's like, you know, first let me tell you how to authenticate paperwork. Nigga passing you something that's supposed to be paperwork. On the very first page of whatever's supposed to be the paperwork or whatnot will be that individual that's going to be doing the narration. He's going to waive his right to remain silent. So you will see that on the first page. It's going to be like, my name is Chris Lockett. I waive my right to remain silent to cooperate with you guys. That wasn't there. It was a police report, and it had somebody else's name on it. And inside that police report, this individual mentioned my comrade name 2 times. So they were saying because his name was inside the police report that he was snitching. So I said, okay. So I had a couple conversations with individuals, and most of them was like, yeah, we feel what you're saying, but I could tell niggas wasn't in no position or didn't want to pick up the, you know what I mean? So it was easy to be like, brain here. Okay, whatever. That rubbed me wrong. But being a gangster, it's only so far you can, it's only so far you can tread in. It's very dangerous getting yourself involved with other neighborhood politics because it's not fair all the time. It's not fair all the time. And you don't know who's on the board that's been hating this nigga, and now they finally got their chance to try to slander a nigga name or do some fake shit. So I felt like I was in I had been involved in a coup by way of, y'all sent this shit to my neighborhood. I didn't ask niggas for nothing. You did. We didn't request this paperwork or nothing. It was voluntarily sent, but it wasn't real paperwork. So I'm not going to call it paperwork. It was bullshit. So I let niggas know, like, this ain't no stand-up shit. So I hollered at the one who was supposed to be in charge at the time. And what he said to me was, let's just see how the trial played out. Well, let me tell you how the trial played out. The trial played out with my nigga getting 23 years. Yes, he didn't cooperate with nobody. And the people on that case who did cooperate, I know who they are. And ain't none of them got blasted, and you know what I mean? So, cool. None of my business. I've been holding all this in, this shit. I ain't say nothing, okay? Boom. So, nigga, you saying that a stand-up nigga, one of the most stand-upest niggas out y'all area for years, you know what I mean, who stood on them corners by itself holding it down, was supposed to be a rat off some bullshit paperwork. Nah, we wasn't feeling that. So now that's filling in the midst of peace. So that's where when I see the bullshit and the fuckery. So now, to spin that, I just brought you up to date on that situation. We got hit with the bullshit. So when he say niggas was hanging with rats, my nigga was incarcerated when I came home. He was already down. I ain't never hung with no motherfucking rat. So he talked about passing paperwork. You didn't send that shit. I don't know who sent that shit, but it was bullshit. So I don't give a fuck about no robberies and none of that shit that happened at your store. That shit wasn't none of my business. I get a call from one of my comrades that's in LA, Las Vegas County Jail, and he's with some dude. And the dude and him, they've been fucking with each other, whatever. So he calls me, he's like, see, are you still running around with the Philthy Rich boy? And I'm like, no, that situation been, played itself out. He say, good, because bruh won't, and bruh left his people for dead. And bruh in here, we looking out for him, but, stay away from him. So I'm like, okay, all right, good heads up, one love. I need something. I get off the phone, I tap in one of my comrades over there. Now, let me remind you again, Philthy, I don't call Phil, I call the street niggas. So I tap in, and I'm like, bruh, nigga just hit me. And the nigga say, bruh, assisted the people, left bruh for dead, and ain't looking good. So I was told that, hold on. And this is when it's fresh on the press, mind you. So for years I've been had this information and all this shit, but I've been minding my own business because it really ain't got nothing to do with me. You know what I mean? So I get the call, I hit my people. Hello? My people was like, they really don't know too. He said he was briefed on it a little bit, but he didn't want to respond. He didn't want to go on record making no comments. I took that and I got off the phone. About 5 or 10 minutes later, I get a phone call from Phil. Phil, what's the deal? Phil asked me what happened. I tell Phil what happened, and Phil took it upon himself to tell me what happens at his store. Okay. And like, I can't just be like, I can quote this nigga on everything he was saying. Certain things stuck out though. He kept saying,